Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, I call it semiconductor rest stop because I think there's a decent chance that the semiconductors have reached a point in terms of the Elliott Wave pattern that they may be getting ready for a little bit of a corrective move, a little sideways type move, and we'll talk about that. But let's first start off with the Nasdaq Composite, then we'll take a look at the High Yield Bond Fund, and then we'll look at the XLK, the Technology ETF, and then we'll look at the semiconductors, the Philly Semiconductor Index and SMH ETF. All right, so here's the NASDAQ Composite. It was up 12.14 for the day on Friday. Boy, this just continues to have a strong trend in here. You can see it doesn't matter on the divergence. You know, you get some divergence, you get a little bit of a correction, not much. And then you get divergence in here between this point and this last week, yesterday, today. But that divergence went away with the price action of yesterday and today's push. So pretty interesting. For the week, the NASDAQ Composite was up very strong. Let me see if I can get the points here. 544.56 for the week. Look how this just continues to trend very strongly. Now, when you look at the Elliott Wave picture, if I go back to the this is September 21st low, in here, we're trying to find 5 waves for the 5th intermediate wave to complete the 5th intermediate wave. At this point, I don't believe we have even completed 3 waves. Now, when you look at the semiconductors, I think we're a little bit closer, but when I look at this wave structure in here, just don't think we're quite there. What I'm looking for is in this 5th little move here, or, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th wave, but it's the 3rd motive wave, the 3rd impulse move to the upside in here within the 3rd minor wave. So I'm looking for this to complete, and I want to see 5 little waves in here, and I'm not seeing that yet. So that's why I just don't think this is complete. I think we could be getting close. I just don't think we're there. All right, so let's take a look at the High Yield Bond Fund. I'm going to go back to the moving average view. Let's look at HYG. It was down 17 cents on Friday. So you can see it's pulled back the last couple of days, but it's right at that 10-day moving average, just trending right in here. What doesn't look very impulsive is this overlapping wave structure in here like this. Okay, and I thought, well, maybe we have a little bit of an ending diagonal in there, but I think that would be a stretch at this point. It's possible, I guess, but I just don't like it that much. I think the big thing, you look at, you say, okay, with HYG, I'm always looking to say, is it telling me risk on or risk off for the market? If HYG is rising, that means that animal spirits are at play and the market is saying it's risk on. And usually when HYG is rising like that, that means the market, it's in sync with the market going up. And if it's going the opposite direction, it means risk off. So right now, I'd have to say it's trying to stay with the whole risk-on mode. It's trying to stay in sync with the market. You saw how, we just reviewed the NASDAQ Composite and it's trending higher. Well, so is HYG, but, it's weakening. I mean, from this high right here on December 4th, you can see on the RSI, we've had nothing but a series of lower peaks in here on the RSI. So a little bit of a flag waving in here, but we don't have the price action truly breaking down just yet. So that's the High Yield Bond Fund. Let's take a look at XLK. So XLK is very similar to the NASDAQ Composite. We got this low here on September 21st. And I think we're trying to do the same thing. Now the labeling is a little bit different, but that's fine. It doesn't matter that much. Each one of these has their own little sequence going on. But again, I think we're trying to finish this 3rd wave, what I call the 3rd minute wave within the 5th minor wave. And I just don't feel like we're complete yet. Just don't think we're quite there. We've had this sideways correction, which is, it's, beautiful from the standpoint. Look at the RSI, how we got the divergence towards the end of the wave 3 in here. This little I wave, blue little I wave 3. And after that divergence, we came down and corrected. We were bouncing around up above 70. We come back down into the 40s. Beautiful little corrective move in here. And now we're trying to thrust higher for that fifth and final wave within the third wave. I just don't think we're there yet, but we're getting closer. Okay, so that's XLK. So when you think about the technologies, now you want to drill down and say, okay, well, what are the semiconductors doing? So let's take a look at the Philly Semiconductor Index. And let me go back up to the top and find that right here. Now, this is what I've got on the Philly Semiconductor Index, and I've got this as a wave 4 low on September 24th over here. Let me look at that low right here. 286.18, 286.21. Actually, this should be right there. And that fits a little bit better. I don't know why it was there, because it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave 2, pullback. And what I'm doing in here, what I'm looking at is because right now I think that this wave 3, this third minor wave, I think it may be done. And I'm saying that is because I think we can count a clear 5-wave move up in here. And, you know, we're getting a little divergence showing up at the end of this move right here. Okay, so it's not huge. I would have liked to have seen it a little bit more between this point and this point, this minute wave 3 here and minute wave 5, but I think there's a decent chance that it may be getting ready to do a wave 4. So when you look at this, I sit back and say, okay, what kind of wave 4 could we get? Well, in Elliott Wave structure, wave 2 and wave 4, many times, it's a guideline, not a rule, many times will alternate in terms of form. So if you get a strong, sharp pullback, a deep, sharp pullback for wave 2, which is what you usually expect, and we got it, a little over 61.8% in terms of the retracement, then you expect a sideways type of corrective action and shallower in here for wave 4. Okay, so, you know, alternating. So right now, I don't think we're going to go that deep. So here's my 2 targets in terms of percent. And it's interesting that if it continues to pull back, down, pulling back, say 38%, I'm talking what, 4 versus 3. What I'm measuring is a pullback of wave 4 as a percent of wave 3. That kind of gets right back down into the previous 4th wave. Don't know if we'll get that deep or not, but this is what I'm looking for, kind of a sideways type push. It could be a zigzag, it could be a triangle, it could be a flat, could be a wide variety of things. But this is what I'm looking at, and that's why I'm thinking that the semiconductors could be in for a little bit of a rest stop in terms of corrective moves sideways. Okay, so that is the Philly Semiconductor Index. Let's take a look at SMH. Okay, so here's SMH, and wow, it looks almost identical to the Philly Semiconductor Index, which is exactly what you would expect, right? I've got this as a wave 4 low back here on September 21st. We've got wave 1, wave 2. I think there's a good chance wave 3 has completed in here. And actually, we got the divergence that I like to see between wave 3 and wave 5. You can see how it showed up in here, that this push, this little wave push right here, did not go to a higher RSI reading than what happened here on wave 3. And I like to see this peak in the wave 3 in here. So right now, this is showing that type of picture pretty well. I think I zoomed in a little bit. There we go. So now the same kind of thing I just talked about in terms of wave 4. I'm looking for a little more shallow of a corrective move and more of a sideways type push like I discussed on the Philly Semiconductor Index. But I wanted to show you how this would play out too if we're looking at, and if you're looking at SMH. All right, that's it for this weekend. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit that little subscriber button here on YouTube. And if you'd like more of this kind of information on a regular basis, head on over to joehenches.net. You can see that right here. Check out the website and the membership. Everyone have a great weekend. Be safe. We'll talk to you on the next video.